What's up, world? Welcome to another conversation, the Muse Show. I'm so excited to be in conversation with my next two guests. You heard me talk this week. I've been talking a lot about black men, black male identity. You know, that is my bag. I advocate for that. I write op-eds through the lens of black men for culture and policy and initiatives. This week, when we were on the morning show, I kind of had a moment, and you guys heard it, where I was just talking about how black men are fathers and black men are in the homes and black men do exist, but there's something about the media that's portrayed us as not being present, not being there. And as I said on air, that is a lie. And so I've always been advocating to make sure that black men have range, and we're shown range in media. And so I couldn't be more excited for my next two guests, because they have a podcast called Iman Amongst Men podcast, where they are going to lean in unapologetically about all things men and issues and culture and society. So without further ado, I want to bring into the conversation my guest for today. I mean, this man doesn't need much of an introduction. You guys have seen him on the basketball courts. You've now seen him on your television screens. You've heard him in your ears rapping. And also, too, fun fact, inside joke, I was a high school classmate of his wife. Ladies and gentlemen, incredible Mr. Iman Shumpert. What's happening?
I appreciate y'all having us here, man.
No problem, man. And to his right is always the one to the right. The one to your right is always the key seat, right? Is always like the privileged seat, is always the honor seat, right? Is always the distinguished guest of honor. And with that is Iman's brother.
I like the build-up,
bro.
I needed the introduction, and he brought it. There we go.
It's his brother, the guest of honor, Ahrii Shumpert. What's happening, Ahrii?
Nothing, man. What's going on? How are you?
Good, brother. I'm so glad to see you, because Ahrii is an incredible barber and artist himself. And Ahrii, what you don't know about me is I actually, during the pandemic, did an op-ed about black barbers and what they play in our society and our culture, and how they are the backbones for our community for entrepreneurship, and how my first entrepreneur I ever met was my barber in Lansing, Michigan. So shout out to you, brother. I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah.
Really excited to be here.
And I think it's interesting, Iman, that your brother is a co-host, right? As you guys are talking about all things men, and we always talk about all things guys in the barbershop.
That's kind of where the whole thing came from. Originally, I was stuck between wanting to do the set to look like our old kitchen that we grew up in, either there or set it up like our basement, where he used to actually start cutting our hair, and my friends start coming over, his friends. We had 15 people down there. It's like, it's a nice conversation. Like, if there's a game on, we really breaking this game down. You know what I'm saying? Like, Pops come down there, he didn't care whatever we doing, he don't care, because he looking at it like, y'all all in the house, locked in on a game.
Yeah.
Do whatever y'all, whatever keep y'all in the house and keep y'all out of trouble, and y'all all together like that. So I think it's kind of, like a look back on our childhood sometimes, when I could sit down at the seat, we sitting down on the couch, we got a guest, but when I look over, like you said, when I look over to my right and I see him, it's like, I know it ain't no line going on. It ain't finna be nothing. Like, he'll check it if it's like, bro, we didn't do that. I don't know. We didn't do that.
Yeah.
I don't know why he said that. We didn't do that.
Keeps you honest.
You see what I'm saying? But as long as I have that, it'll make me feel comfortable. And it made me feel like, bro, I ain't finna lie to you, bro. Like, when we alone, like, he might call me out like, that ain't what you said. You said you ain't like dude. Like, what you know what I'm saying?
Which we do all the time.
We do it all the time. Call it out like, but that ain't what you said.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. And we get into that. Sometimes we have the brother banter that happens, but it's like anybody that has brothers, sisters, siblings, period, they understand that battle, that competitive spirit, but we still eat breakfast the next day.
I love that. I know you guys are a family of four, and so just looking at you, I'm thinking about my family. I have two older sisters and an older brother, and so I understand what that dynamic is, right? And how you check when I'm the youngest, and so I was always getting checked. And so, audience, you can see this on the YouTube, but on Monday. But if you're listening to us right now, I'm the shorter of the brother of these two. You guys definitely got the height in the family going on. But Ahrii, that leads me to my question, because I'm just thinking about this. Well, then I think barbers are always been the moderators of conversation then. You guys have always been hosts, right? You were hosting the conversation in your basement. You're hosting a conversation in a barbershop. You're always kind of moderating that.
Yeah.
Talk to me about your thoughts when it comes to like having these conversations with men and the importance and the value of it and the role that barbers play in that space.
Well,
This is my first time having a barber on the show, so I'm real dope to talk to you about this.
You know, like really the talent in barbering kind of transcends everything, and that's why we kind of feel like we have something. So it's like in the barbershop, we kind of take ownership of all the conversations just because it's like, this is kind of our space. So it's like we control that. Anything we want to do, we can tell you how you look. We can tell you, like we control whether you're going to get up and be good out of here. Like we can control whether your girl is going to like you after this. So that's where we all, like I feel like all of us feel like, there's something, there's something
Talk your
in that
stuff,
so that you
Ahrii.
control, what's going on. Yeah.
Basically, you're king, you're a don. I get it. I absolutely understand it. Well, Ahrii, I'm going to lead you to the next point, and Iman, I think you can appreciate this, but I'm curious about this, Iman, from a brother perspective, so I want to get it from the brother's perspective. But Ahrii, I always talk about, I was saying this even recently, even on air, I was saying that the closest relationships that men actually have is our barber, if we're really honest and we think about it, especially if you had a barber for years. I've had the same barber since I moved to New York. I had the same barber when I was in college. I had the same barber that I had when I was in high school. And so here in New York, my barber knew everything about me. He knew when I was going on my first dates. He knew when I was going for a big interview. He knew when I had a big audition coming up, right? So I'm like, don't mess this one up. This is important. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so every week you get to spend intimate time with someone for about 30 minutes every week.
That's a bar.
Bro.
Can I get a hand?
Yes.
That's a bar.
Yeah.
I heard it though. That's
When you think about
crazy.
it, our most intimate relationships is with our barbers for so
That
long,
is-
right?
Wow,
You spend
your
30 minutes
barber
every
do know it all.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? Do you see it that way? Do you see the intimacy, especially with your clients who have you
I'll
had?
tell you how
It's
I see
crazy.
it. I'll
Okay.
tell you how I see it.
Yeah.
Y'all barbers need to be thinking about our events a little bit more. That's what y'all need to be doing. Because I can tell the difference when he feel like it's a special day.
Right? Yo! That's why you got to tell them.
I done seen this man half dead.
I mean, we
sleep,
are
cut
human,
my hair.
but we are human.
Well, I'm like, boy, this is important. I'm all type of excited. He like, boy, come on, man. You go get there.
Yeah. Yo, so me and you the same. So I gotta tell my barber sometimes, like, cause sometimes you let that week go. I don't got nothing coming up. You can slide or whatever. But I'm like, bruh,
Yeah,
don't play with this one.
And then I hit him with this. I love hitting him with this. Boy, make sure my size match.
Yeah.
Make sure they at the same level right here.
Yeah.
Make sure it's at the same level, boy.
Right.
I go in the mirror and be like,
Yeah.
nah, you ain't do the thing. You supposed to step back and do the fingers like this, and you ain't do it today because you tired.
No, I just did that to my barber. Shout out to my barber, Buddha. I just did that to my barber this week.
Like, where the thing at?
Like, he gave me the mirror, and he was like, here. I said, no, you're supposed to, like, do this
Yeah.
blower thing right here, bro. And I told him, I was like, this is my ABC primetime special that just aired last night. Like,
You don't care.
Like, you don't care about
acting
me, bro.
like you don't care.
You don't want my lineup to be crisp.
Real talk. It's
Yo,
like, he be thinking I'm overdoing it, but I
Yeah.
be telling him, bro, I know.
Oh, you overdoing
You know
it.
it.
It's just now
I'm
both of
just
y'all
saying.
overdoing it. So like, I'm finna answer your question now.
Yep.
You and him, y'all are these clients.
Yeah.
Like, just
Oh.
y'all
So
are
now we're
these
the
clients.
clients.
Yeah, y'all the clients. Y'all the
Word.
clients.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Just like a therapist or somebody would think about it. Like, all right, this person's coming in, so
Quote unquote. Right. Okay.
Mike's got stuff to do
Yeah.
today. So
Audience, he's doing the air quotes right now.
He's got to do the, the thing with the beard, and we're gonna
Yeah.
we might have to have dye and all.
No,
And he's
no,
probably
no,
just
no.
like,
Don't let him see he gonna carry away on you. My
Yeah.
man say he
No,
ain't
I'm
doing
just
the
saying-
dye and all that.
No, I'm saying if he's over the top, that's what he's gonna want. So it's
Yeah.
like, I gotta bring my razor kit. I gotta bring this. I gotta bring shaving cream for this guy. I gotta make sure this
Absolutely.
guy's got a hot towel and.
I didn't do
da-da-da-da.
all that though.
Yeah.
I didn't do all
No,
that.
but if you do it, that's another thing with barbering. If you do it one time and somebody's impressed like a motherfucker,
Oh, you
Yeah.
gotta do it again.
you gotta,
gotta
keep
keep
it going.
doing it.
You gotta keep the show going.
Amon,
You
because
don't like that.
Audience,
So you
everybody
trying to
in
give me the
room is
bare
nodding
minimum.
right now. Damien's nodding. The homies are nodding. Everyone is like, absolutely. Don't stop. You gave me your best the first time. I want the consistency.
Don't stop.
Keep the energy. Keep the energy
That's
up,
why
bro.
You barbers is
Yeah.
out here half stepping.
Yeah.
You want to half step forever. Get on your job.
job, right?
No,
Iman, you gotta tell me, leave me hanging, bro.
Dude, my bad.
Yeah, you leave
Do
me
your
hanging,
job,
do your job
man.
and keep the same energy.
Man,
Don't give me a hot towel one week
you
and then
right.
don't give me the hot
You're
towel
right.
next week.
And this is where that differs.
Yeah.
You're the client.
I'm
look. No, I'm not janky. I'm not janky because it would take you one time to be like, yo, Ahrii, you didn't.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, you know what?
You right.
You right.
You're right, man. And you that client.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make sure now, like rain, sleet, or snow.
Yeah.
I'm about to come in here and line all this up.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna be straight. I'm gonna make sure the next time I show you, I'm gonna have your own mirror. Like you know what here. It's straight. Like you ain't got to worry about it.
Yeah,
Check that first. Make sure we good.
We good.
And tip.
And tip.
Everyone tip. Tip your barber.
Nah, I do
please.
tip good.
Tip.
First of all, and also talk about inflation, dude. My barber hit me the other day. He was like, "Mike," I'm like, "Bruh, I ain't never paid this price."
And if
before.
your barber hit you and you didn't hit him first, that means you didn't tip or the tip's about to go up.
And then the brother told me I'm grandfather this, so he said you're getting like the grandfather rate. He said, so I had to
So
go
that
up.
means
I'm
you
like,
get when everybody else
Yeah.
get.
Grandfather made a message you. You be like, so what is the actual rate, my man?
Right. That's what that
So,
means. Grandfather rate ain't
what
that
everybody
much
else?
lower.
So if I refer you, is they grandkids?
So look, if I give you 5 referrals, right? Like what happens to them?
Right, do mine go down more?
And
Do I get older?
Do I get older?
The answer to that question
Do I
is
get
no.
the 6 1
Real
free?
talk, no. Like, if I put you
Yeah,
on
no.
with 5 clients
Wow.
that's younger,
And
Yeah,
we
exactly.
I
appreciate
become
it.
more granddaddy.
That's what
right?
it is. And my rate should go
Like,
down.
My granddaddy should
Also,
be
your
good
rate should go
by
down.
then.
My rates absolutely go down.
So this is a
already.
mortgage now.
Exactly.
Ooh, okay.
I'm paying down the principal enough on that. Yeah. I've been paying on the interest with this brother. Yeah. So listen, with that being, first of all, I'm enjoying this conversation, fellas. I feel like we actually are in a barbershop
Mike is
right
setting
now.
back barbers, man.
Oh,
He
bro,
got-
bro. I advocate for y'all. I'm telling everyone a whole op-ed to Congress. Like, we need lobbying for black barbers. Legit, I'm going to send it to you. I legit
yes,
did. I'm going to send it to you
please,
too, Iman, so you
please.
can check it out, man. It'll be really good to get some conversation going around that. So you guys see, your podcast is about not necessarily black men, but just men, right? Just men in general, right?
What's the men's perspective?
From the men's perspective. Talk to me though, just as you two, just being black men, right? And you've seen the range. Do you both feel like there is enough range of black male identity within media and within culture, within society?
No.
I think, and the quality, I think one of the coolest things about the black man is when the black man gets to that comfortable place of this is me, this is what it is, and I have to walk this for the kids under me and the kids that are next. Once a black man gets there, they don't really seek approval. Mm-hmm. They become so comfortable and so in the now and the present of what they got going on. The approval from somebody else goes away. Yeah. So highlighting it for the rest of the world means nothing to them. Mm-hmm. It's about really walking that walk. So the idea, the challenge is not how do we get more of them in the media by getting them to put themselves in it. It's how do you remember how in the real world they just had the cameras and they get that weird conversation. It's like, oh, y'all wasn't gonna cut the cameras off of that? Like, yeah. But you got to get it like that to where that man forgets that the camera is on, and we got to highlight it on our own. We got to have people that have platforms. This is one of the main reasons we got the podcast, because it's like, I really know dude, and he's not gonna talk unless it's me and my brother sitting like this. Because there's been times that I have my brother with me early on when I got drafted, and you get around somebody that you're like, dog, you full of shit, until we sat there and talked to you, and after 5-10 minutes, I like you, dog.
Yeah.
But the rest of the world not gonna like you unless we present it a certain way. So I think that's part of the relationship that me and my brother are gonna take advantage of. Just saying, when you hang around us, you know you're not gonna do that. Yeah. But hanging around us and having this open conversation, I can almost guarantee you this will be a highlight for a lot of people because they've never heard you speak for this long.
I love that. So it's all about creating a safe space.
Definitely a safe space. We're definitely safe space advocates.
Yeah.
For sure. Safe space.
Safe space to do violent things, though.
Yeah, okay.
If you want to say some out of bounds stuff. If
okay,
you
Ahrii.
Yes, safe space to do violent things. Yes.
Yeah, that's
he a dad. That's some dad shit to say.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
Ahrii, you woke up and chose violence this morning. I'm noticing.
No.
Yeah.
I don't choose it.
Yeah.
No, I don't choose it. It's an option, but you don't have to choose it.
You don't have to choose it.
You got a choice.
But it's on the table.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's there. I can see it, feel it, hear it, smell it. Yeah, it's there. It's there.
And
Put it this way with Ahrii and violence, man. My first time being headbutted, my own blood brother.
Yeah.
Crush.
Yeah. So how's it? One thing I want to talk about. I know I can talk to you guys all day, but I know you have other important things to do. So we got to keep it moving for you. But fatherhood. It's Father's Day weekend, so I want to say Happy Father's Day to the both of you. You guys both. I'm not a dad yet.
Okay.
Yet is safe space choosing violence,
go.
right? Yeah.
It
ain't too late.
Yet is the operative words. I hope to be. So I hope you guys can say it to me in about 2 years, hopefully. So with that being said, I wanted to just end on this note about Father's Day and fatherhood, right? And I was just talking on air about there was this narrative that just black men are not present in the homes. Like, what is you guys' thought on that narrative about black men not being fathers and being there for the children? Before you go, I choose opposite. I talk about that often. I did a Black Men Town Hall for ABC for prime time, and I really talked about how this narrative is being pushed in society that we're not present, right? And it's just not true, right? And so just want to end this note on Father's Day, just asking you guys your thoughts on that as being incredible fathers that you are.
You want to go first? You want me to go first?
You can go first.
I think it goes back just to our family roots. We had a lot of, and I'm just noticing this now, like within the last 2 or 3 years, we had a lot of really good male examples. Like not just our own father, but we had uncles, we had cousins who took care of, at least for me, like I saw that and I'm now recognizing that they took care of kids that weren't theirs.
Yeah.
And it really, like, even now it makes me emotional talking about it, just because it's like I don't know what that feels like. Still, to this day, I don't know what that feels like. I can't imagine how that feels, especially when you're upset or when you're trying to deal with your life and you got someone else with their kids and their problems that you're kind of taking on. To me, it's incredible. And at the same time, it's like you have to be present to deal with that. Like, you have to be home. You have to be, your kids have to see you. They have to have a relationship with you. You can't, you really can't just be in and out like, that stigma of black fathers is, where we're just here, we're just providing or whatever the case may be, and we're not really involved in the kids' lives. We saw a lot of examples of men taking charge in children's lives. Like, I even knew friends who had fathers who just raised them. Like, I had a lot of friends with single mothers. That was common, but I did have a lot of friends who their father raised them. So it's like, I believe that, it is true. The stigma, sometimes it can be true, but there are so many examples that we don't talk about, we miss, that get swept under the rug just because those people aren't vocal about it and they see it as just something that they do and it's out of the goodness of their heart. Yeah. So that's why I feel like there's not a lot of recognition, but I'm all with you. Yeah, like black representation, black fathers, like, yeah, they're out there. Yeah. They're out there. You just got to find them.
Yeah. Iman?
Yeah. If I had to compare it to something, I'd say it's like in basketball, the guy that don't actually watch the game, he just read the box score at the end, and it's like, dog, dude didn't do nothing the whole game. At the end, they had to foul over and over. He shot a bunch of free throws. You know what I'm saying? But they be like, he played the best today. No, he didn't. He hit a bunch of free throws at the end of the game because they needed to keep stopping the clock. You know what I'm saying? Like, so with the fatherhood thing, we do a lot of saying what a stigma is from what we saw in a goddamn movie, and you can't measure something until that father comes home. Even if a father works all day, even if he's working all day, he's providing an example for that kid. You know what I'm saying? He's providing shelter for that kid. So yeah, it's a lot of black fathers that may not be in the crib all day because they outside working, they ass off. And that's an example for any kid. You don't understand that example maybe at 5. You cry about it. I was sad. Dad ain't home all the time. Mom ain't home all the time. Granny watching us. Auntie watching us. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, after a while, you turn 14, and you like, nah, I'm going to be able to get money like my dad. What you mean? I'm going to have means to go to, stuff to do. You start wanting that one too, and you start realizing I wake up every day and I work my ass off because I watch my parents work their ass off. So the true measure in like seeing if somebody is in their kid's life when the parent comes home, like when dad comes home and he drop his bag, do we run over there and run up to him and get him a hug? Like, measure a father like that when they kid run up and say hello to him for the first time. Measure a father on how many times the kid is going to let that phone ring when that father call. You know what I'm saying? Measure that. But the whole stigma and I get it. We've seen it in a lot of movies, but it's like, bro, have you, like, even the league I just came from, like, have you seen our league? Like, all these fathers that love being fathers? Even the guys with baby mama drama. It's guys out here paying that lawyer a lot of money to get that kid back. Oof. And they got to take time to go get that money to get that kid back. But they are willing to do it. That's a father. Mm-hmm. It sucks. A lot of these things happen a lot of too. We don't count the percentage of fathers that is not really a failure on the father's side. It's really a failure on the relationship.
Come on.
Mm-hmm. It's a failure between the mom and the dad. It's not a failure between the kid. The connection gets ruined within that. Like, y'all gonna do some shit, tell that story. But we gotta stop just like, oh yeah, it's the black dude's fault.
Oh my God, Iman. Think of a better way to end, because I know you have to run, but I hope you can come back on the Mike Muse show.
Man,
we'll have time to let this conversation breathe. It's so important. This is what I advocate for. This is what I talk about. Yeah. Changing the narrative that black fathers are not existent in the home. That is a lie.
No,
that's a lie, now. America. That's bullshit. A lie that the media has portrayed. That's a lie that social construct has portrayed. That's a lie that movies have portrayed. I'm looking at you studio executives for even greenlighting, the audacity to even greenlight films like that. Shame on you. Shame on what you have done to that. And a shame on what even the blogs have done to these players out there that make them seem like they're the bad guys. Iman just said it. There are those players who are fighting behind the scenes with their lawyers to fight for their children, and you don't show the fight within that. And so I just wanted to thank you, Iman, for bringing that to the space, being vulnerable and being truth. Ahrii, thank you for being your vulnerable self and bringing your authentic self and being emotional with that. I love you both, black men. I look forward to have all the success. Tune in to the Iman Amongst Men podcast. It is streaming now on all platforms. And until next time, folks, peace.